Greetings YouTube universe. Today I will be discussing 3 ways in which pharmacy school did not prepare me for the real world. In fact, there were 3 norms in pharmacy school that I will list that sort of went against the grain. There were 3 norms in pharmacy school that were very much contrary to what would be favorable in real world sort of work situations. Now, it's worth noting that I followed a somewhat non-traditional path after graduating pharmacy school. I do not practice as a pharmacist, nor did I practice as a pharmacist coming out of pharmacy school. I chose a non-traditional path. Usually there are 3 areas that pharmacy graduates go into. They practice in retail, they practice in a clinical or hospital setting, and that also includes residency, or there's this 3rd category of industry, FDA, usually where you do not have to have a license, although there are some FDA positions that require a license. But without further ado, I'm going to list 3 norms, 3 expectations in pharmacy school that did not translate for me as a medical writer in the industry space, in the clinical trial space. The first norm in pharmacy school that did not translate into the real world was getting a thank you card for your preceptor. So in pharmacy school, we were expected to get a thank you card for our rotation preceptors or mentors. This was something I disagreed with from the get-go, but I went along with it. My initial thoughts were that this seems strange. It seems like an expense that shouldn't be on the student, but rather the school. This should be able to be done electronically. I don't see why it needs to be a paper, like physical thank you card. We should be going paperless anyways because the earth is on fire as we speak. This could perpetuate classism in the sense that some thank you cards are fancier and therefore more expensive than others. I got my thank you cards from the back of a CVS dumpster, whereas Joe might have got his, Joe is a fictional character, Joe might have gotten his thank you card from a Hallmark store. The real winners printed their thank you cards out at rotation and used the hospital site or whatever rotation site resources to print that bad boy out on paper. Stick it to the man. Thank you cards, toxic. It propagates gift giving, which I think is wrong. I don't have the vocabulary to explain why that's unethical, but it's not. Talk to any other healthcare professional student. It's outdated. I really hope that that has ended by now. I went to pharmacy school from 2014 to 2018. Hopefully that was a thing of the way distant past, which was the 2010s. The second norm in pharmacy school, which I did not observe to be true in the real world, is that my professors were claiming that a 2-week minimum is required for a professor to get back to you. This was a big phenomenon in student organizations, but it also seeped into actual coursework. Professors thought it was justified to get back to student emails at a minimum of 2 weeks. This compromised people's graduation status. I got fed up with this. By the time my 4th year came around, I would CC whoever the professor or course manager reported to, whoever's higher up. They would get all fussy about it. I would find it very cute that they're getting upset that they have to do their job. I found in the real world that people respond when it comes to work and your team and who you report to. People respond within a 24 hours notice as long as it's a business day. I mean, and there's no formalities like there were in pharmacy school that was just creating barriers in work. We just hop on Skype or Microsoft Teams, get the job done, send the emails, do the phone calls, do the Zoom calls. Like, we're about business, not formalities and thank you cards and so-called professionalism. The 3rd norm in pharmacy school that does not translate well into the real world, at least succeeding in the real world, is the whole rotation and residency model, specifically where the student or resident is either underpaid or not paid at all, or paying tuition under the guise of training. Regular 9-to-5s have training as well, but we're getting paid for that. This is very problematic. I'm surprised that society has let this go on for so long. It kind of really unveils that nearly all of graduate school is a scam. This last norm is a big boulder that's not really unique to pharmacy school, but it's still worth noting. Those are 3 norms, those are 3 expectations, those are 3 conventions in pharmacy school that did not translate well for me in my working life as a medical writer. Please like, comment, subscribe. I would be very curious to know your thoughts.